Thank you, Anthony. On this special edition of Creating Career, students will have seen several different job roles within Keepmoat Homes, so things like land and partnership, marketing, sales, etc. Would you be able to talk through how all those roles link together to make Keepmoat, a successful business, and how finance runs through all of that, please?
No problem. So first off, the land team will identify a piece of land, and they tend to then engage with the land vendor. And this can be a private landowner, it could be a local authority, it could be a charity, government body, such as Homes England or the NHS, or anything else really. And depending on the requirements, the land team then could make a higher level offer without much detail around it, but to give the vendor an idea of land value. And this would be based on historics that they've got and information that they've got from the different teams. But this tends to be a high level idea that they can present to the vendor at this stage. It's not going to be the final price, but they may involve the other teams at this point. And we do need to collaborate. The land team will collaborate with the other areas of the business to achieve the results that we need. So, even at the start, even if they're producing something that is high level, they will get involved with the other teams, even if it's something that's likely to be very quick and high level. The next team that then gets involved tends to be the technical team, if we're successful and we're going for the next level of detail. And they'll get additional information from the vendor via the land team. And this can include things such as what's known as the red edge, which gives you the total land area and the actual piece of land that they'll be working on. It can be the ground conditions, any constraints, which can include areas which you can't build on for various reasons. It could be a planning requirement, or it could just be tree protection orders or the like. And they can start working on a layout at this point. And again, they'll involve the other teams as they need to. So sales might get involved to decide on the house types that they're going to use. And technical team might also again interact with the land team to get more information as it's needed, and that can be information from the vendor. It could be information from local authorities and the like. So again, there's lots of collaboration that goes on within the business and within the teams as they start to try and piece together and come up with something that's a lot more detailed. So when the layout's then produced and the supporting information is there, that gets provided off to the commercial team. The commercial team will then start to pull together the cost of constructing the site. So the technical team will go through everything, not just putting the houses on the site, but also where all the roads are going to go, where the sewers are going to go, how high the site's going to be, and how it's going to drain. So that's then all given to the commercial team, and they start to put a cost against all of these different items. So not, as I say, not just including the houses, your roads, sewers, your utility connections. Even if there's trees that need going in on the site, they'll put all those in. And it can include things such as render on the houses and the different types of windows that go in. So they'll really go into the detail of the cost to try and pull that together. At the same time, the sales team will be working on what they think they can sell these houses for, so that we can get a full understanding of where the site sits and how much it's going to cost and how much money the business is going to receive from that piece of land. So we can start to then really shape a detailed offer of land value to the vendor. And the other teams also start to get involved. So construction, they'll design a plan of how they're going to build the site. Finance will start to pull the information together and say, well, how are we going to spend the money and when are we going to spend the money? And then this gives us a full idea of how we can then integrate that into our 5-year plan and our financial plans for the business going forward. We might even have to involve external parties at this stage as well, and they can be the local authority. It can be registered providers who may buy a portion of the houses on a site, and we may involve the local community and sustainability officers as well. So they all start to shape exactly how much the site's going to cost. And then eventually we can go back to the vendor with a more detailed idea of what we're going to pay them for the site. And hopefully that's then accepted. This can then be presented internally to our main exec, because they've equally got to make sure that we are doing what we should be doing and presenting a site that ultimately is right for the business. So they will then appraise that and hopefully then give us approval in the region to go and build the houses. And we'll also have to go to the local authority for the final planning permission and make sure that, again, that there are any costs that are involved in taking that through the local authority are factored into the site. Eventually, we then start to construct the houses, and the build team start that process, obviously. And they start to involve, via our commercial team, all the subcontractors that need to turn up onto site. And this can include things such as the ground workers and preparing the roads and sewers and getting the slabs in, ready for the houses to be built. And then you start to see your other trades coming in, such as your bricklayers, your scaffolders. And then eventually, as we start to go into the house, you'll get your roof will go on, your windows, and you'll end up with the plasterers, the joiners, the electricians, the mastic men and women, the gardeners, the fencers, and many others. And they all start to arrive on site, and the houses start to get fully constructed, and we get the gardens in and all the roads and everything around the houses. And hopefully at this point, the customers are also started to turn up, and that's obviously involving the sales and the marketing team. And the customers will start to move in as the houses are constructed around them. Obviously, we have to make sure that things are done in a safe manner. So health and safety also get involved and make sure that they're happy with things that are going on site. And everyone's involved in that process as well. Health and safety is about everyone at Keepmoat is involved in health and safety to make sure that everyone who turns up on our sites are safe. And again, we might involve the community as we're building the houses and the site. And also we'll link in with local schools and charities if we're doing with that sort of process. So along the way, all these different teams monitor the site, and they do that for each of their areas. And finance equally are monitoring the site to make sure that the cash is spent as it should be and the profitability of the site is as we would expect. So we can monitor and make sure that the site is doing what it should be, and that gets reported into the rest of the business. As we get towards the end of the site and it's fully constructed, we make sure we finish off all aspects of the build. And that can range from the things that I've mentioned, like your roads and sewers, your tree planting, it might be ponds, it might be a little park that's put onto the site, or public open space as it's also known. And then hopefully, as our customers are happy, they may have issues as they go along or need support, and they then contact us customer services team, who are more than happy to help. But ultimately, that's it. That's how we get to the end of a site and the end of the process.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Anthony. It's really brilliant to finish the series on, tying all those job roles together that students have
no problem.
been exposed to throughout the series. So thank you very much. Students, just very quickly, if you've got any questions about today's episode or any of the episodes that we have watched, send your question to careershub@growthplatform.org, and don't forget to complete the Creating Careers Roadmap. That's the Keepmoat Homes edition of the Creating Careers Roadmap. So that allows you to evaluate your interest in all of the job roles, the different job roles of Keepmoat Homes that you have seen throughout the series. So thanks again, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Creating Careers. Thank you very much.